so thick. Lowriders, 77 Sevilles, L dogs, nothing but them lax. All the players.
Appreciate everybody joining. We're here with some of the top 2013 prospects. Starting on the far end, Vernon Hargreaves from Wharton, Travis Johnson in the middle from Jesuit, and Richard Benjamin immediately to my right from Middleton High School. Fellas, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Once you guys see this, obviously we will complete the interview and you'll know more about these upcoming prospects who've gotten a lot of attention very early here in the Tampa Bay area. All of them well-mannered kids. They come from good backgrounds, and we will learn a lot more about these kids after this is over with. Start here with you, Richard. Richard, tell me how's Middleton doing so far this summer?
Well, actually, Middleton, we're up and coming, we're getting better at what we used to do. Because I think that we used to do more because we were way better coach and way better talent for them.
Vern, you're not a Tampa native. Came here a few years ago and emerged on the scene as one of the top corners in our area. Tell me how that transition has been so far.
Well, I've moved a couple times since my dad's coaching now, so I've been just kind of used to getting to new people. So when I got here, it was just like every other time I just played hard.
And Trav, you were on some of the great Jaguar teams with Wilder, Richard, Matt Jones, Quentin Williams, all that Jaguar team. And now it's everybody knows your name. But what's the difference between when you're on a team full of kids with those type of caliber players and now you're in the Jesuit when you're standing out?
Well, I mean, when I was with those kind of kids right there, I wasn't really as talented as them, so they sort of helped me out. So now that I'm at Jesuit, and there's not really, I guess you could say, kids that are that talented, it helps me out be like more of a leader, and I can help the kids out and like help them with the routes and all that. So that's what I try and do every practice.
All three of you guys have had a great summer and spring, full of 7-on-7, and a lot of debates going on about how serious 7-on-7 is getting and how much stock people are putting into 7-on-7. What are your feelings and your opinion about 7-on-7 as the activity and how competitive it's getting amongst the type of tournaments there are?
To me, it's competitive because 7-on-7 teams that some teams are playing, they play in the regular season to see what they can get better at the team that they're playing and to prepare for the team that they're playing. So it's like it's getting you better, and you're having fun, and you're getting better to play the teams, getting other teams that you're going to go against.
I think tournaments are good. Like when people definitely when teams come from out of county, different teams that you play like at the USF, Sling and Shoot a while ago, there was teams that they're like. I think it's like Leonard and all that. Like most teams around here don't play them, and so you can get to see them. And there was I think like Winter Haven was out there too.
Right.
They were out there doing pretty good, and you haven't really seen them around here, heard about them, so you can get to know them and see what kind of talent they have also.
Just like they said, like some of the teams that you play them in the regular season, so you try to get like the edge on them. But then I just think everybody's getting competitive. Everybody just wants to win.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
It looks like it is. Moving right along, we'll talk a little bit about recruiting with these guys. All three of them have made a clean sweep of the Florida schools with some big time offers, and they're going to become household names if they're not already. Richard and Travis and Vernon, tell me, start with Vernon, tell me how recruiting has been thus far.
I think it's going to be pretty crazy because I never really thought I was going to get recruited after my sophomore year. Because I had an okay year. When I got my first offer from USF, and I was like, and then like it just started coming in. I didn't really expect it, so I was kind of surprised.
Does it start to sink in, Travis, that somebody, at least one school out there, thinks you're a real good player?
I mean, it sinks in like that. Like I think from all of our mindsets, we think from past year that we didn't really do that good. So we want to push ourselves to do better next year, so we can actually get those looks. But then as soon as they start coming in, then we think, oh, okay. So maybe we should start working harder and harder so we get more looks and turn more people's heads.
And when you look at your highlight film, Richard, what do you see? Do you kind of put on a coach's hat and say, well, I see this in me. I see why they're looking at me. What do you see when you look at your own highlight film?
Right. I look at my highlight film. I've been looking like, I look from the coach's stand, what have I done? Or what did I do great to make them like want to offer me? So as I look, looking at it's also a highlight film, but it's some things on your highlight film that you can be bad at and see if you can get better at. So I look at it and see where I can get back and get better at on my highlight film, the things that I do great.
Just so people are familiar, Vernon, give me 2 or 3 offers that you have right now. Same thing with all you got.
Florida and Florida State.
I got LSU, Ohio State, and Florida.
Miami, Florida State, Auburn.
Good. Those are all top-notch schools now. At some point, not now because right now you want to soak up as much as you can. But when you're young, there's always a school or 2 that you just wish that would recruit you. You wish if you had the opportunity, that's the school that you would go to, which we would call our dream school. What would be your dream school?
Miami and LSU.
My dream school is Miami, Florida.
Florida State and USA.
Kids right here grow up watching the Florida schools, Florida State, Miami. But every school, every kid in Florida Miami always comes up. Miami always comes up. What is it about Miami that kids are drawn to? Either one of that.
They got swag.
Yeah, like past couple, I mean, that college right there, they have the #1, I would say, draft rate of like NFL players come out of there in the NFL right now. So I think that's what most people look at. I mean, you could look at them how they come on the field. I mean, I get uniforms and all that, like it look good.
Right.
It's just good school all around.
Rick?
They swagged out.
That's all you can say.
Swagged out. Explain to the viewers what swagged out means.
Swagged out means when they get on the field, they gonna look good and play good at the same time.
Swagged out. Make sure you write that down.
Look good and play good.
Moving right along. You guys have 3 different coaches, obviously. 3 different styles. Coach Mitchell is hard-nosed by the book. Coach Harold is a hands-on, in-your-face type coach. And Coach Ashford just now more laid back. Tell me in short words, obviously positive, give me a brief description about each one of your head coaches and how he has helped you through the process.
Well, our head coach, he doesn't let up on you. You get no days off, and he's always on you, and he's always trying to make you get better.
He's more of a break it down, get on the chalkboard type of a man and make sure everybody knows what their assignment is. And every day we go out on the field, he pushes every single one of us. Not just one of us, not just 2 of us, every single one of us. And there's no, you're one of the top players, so you get a little leeway. So everyone has to do the same exact thing as everyone else. He pushes all of us.
My coach, he's very laid back, but times where he makes you work hard because even though that you're great, he wants you to be better. So he's laid back, but he's also gonna push you. He's a fun guy, but he's gonna push you in the long run because it's just not football. Right? That is more than football.
Now, Wharton, Jesuit, and Middleton. At times through the past, all 3 schools have had their time when they've been at the top of the ranks. Wharton had a state run. Jesuit had a couple state runs in the past. Middleton, they came first on the scene in 2001. I believe they were a playoff team that advanced far. But none of you guys are state champions, and none of you guys have been close to being state champions, but you're still very highly recruited players. In your opinion, does it matter what school that you go to in order for you to get looks as a top player?
No. As long as you're smart, you got the grades, you can play football, a school's gonna fight for you.
I think that's completely not true. I mean, you can go to one of the top schools in like the area, like you can go to Plan and just be good like that, and then he'll see you. But I mean, if you go to like a smaller school like Strawberry Crest or something like that, that's just coming up. I mean, if you got the talent, they'll find you. Anywhere you go, especially in college, same way.
Like you said, if you got talent, they'll find you. Like you don't really need to be at a top-notch school to get recruited.
When I know how being a player myself, when you get knocked out in the playoffs, and it's time to hang your pads up, and it's time to put the helmet up and put your kicks in your bag and leave out the locker room for the last time. And you go to next Friday night, you watch one of those teams who continue to play. What goes through your head when you see that team either Robinson playing or Arnold from last year, those teams in Jefferson, they're still playing and you're at home with your stuff packed up? What goes through your mind?
What goes through my mind is like, to me, I have family who plays on the top-notch team, so like I don't let them down. To me personally, I go root them on. I wish the best for Temple teams, but we're in Temple, so I just go root them on.
Okay.
Me, I watch like last year when Robinson beat us, and then they kept going on. I would watch Ruben Gonzalez because he's one of the top receivers. So I would watch like his route running and all that, and try and get that to help me out for future practice.
I try to watch the best DVs like that are in each team, see what they do that I don't do, or see what I do that they don't do, or I just try to critique them.
Well, Vern, but let me direct this question to you. How do you prepare each day for practice and then stay level-headed and then juggle the recruiting process all at one time?
Well, you just gotta stay humble. I guess it all comes fast, but you can't get cocky too much because then it'll leave just as fast as it comes.
Travis, you started off with, me and you were talking early on, you started off with one offer. It was LSU for a while. It was just LSU. Then the month of May came, and you and I were talking on a daily basis. There was 4 or 5 schools coming to see you, and 4 or 5 offers coming in. What comes upon when that's? What do you think when all that attention's coming at you? You still got to go to practice every day, and your players and teammates are looking at you like this guy's good, but he's still working hard every day. What goes through your mind as far as preparation for everyday practice?
I mean, it makes me feel that like, they see you getting all these offers and all that, so it makes you want to go out there and you can't really play around in practice because then they'll think, oh, okay, I guess that's what colleges are looking at, kids to play around or something. They're not serious. So you have to come out and be serious every play, every second and all that, and show a little bit of leadership. That's what I basically try and do when I go out there.
Is your team, Richard, looking at you in a leadership role?
Yes.
And how do you grasp that role?
I grasp that role because they know that since I'm a top player, that I work hard, that they can follow me to work hard so they can get to where I'm at. Okay? So like I don't look at my team as like, oh, I'm the top player. I look at my team like we're all players, we're all family, one another helping us. So that's how I feel about it. Right?
Now, all of you guys have great strengths, obviously, because you're getting recruited real hard. But there's got to be a weakness that you know in yourself what you have to work on. That's just part of becoming a good player. That's part of being humble. That's knowing what you need to do to become an elite player at your position. From each one, what is your greatest strength and what is your weakness that you need to work on?
Talent-wise or?
Football on the field.
Football.
Skill-wise.
Skill. Well, I need to work on really is like my technique and like timing and breaking down.
What is your strength?
My strength is my hands and my great speed and agility.
Now tell me why you got the nickname Rich Boy. I think everybody needs to know it.
Come on, Travis. How'd I get a name?
It came all the way back from the Jaguar days, way back then. They just started calling him Rich Boy.
And why they call you Rich Boy? How did you get Rich Boy?
Anything through to me was like money.
Yeah.
Trav, what about you? Your greatest strength and your weakness that you need to develop and get better at?
I would say my weakness is coming out of my cuts, probably. I gotta work on that. And my strength, I would say, let's see, I would say going for the low balls. I'm pretty good. I got a good technique going down to get those, so that's what I would say one of my strengths are.
Good. Body control, balance.
Yes.
My weakness probably be tackling, but my strength is probably ball awareness, field awareness, where everybody's at.
We're gonna wrap this session up. We got a smaller session coming up, but just one at a time. I want you to tell the camera what they should expect out of you as a player for the 2011 season, starting right here with Richard.
What to expect from me this year is more leadership and basically on the field. It's like I'm getting better at my techniques, breaking routes, and my hands.
For me, you can look also leadership. See a lot of touchdowns coming out, and get to say a lot of wins coming from us this year.
You should expect big time plays from the 24th.
Good job, boys. We'll wrap this up.